And it would help if my mic was on. Okay. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the live stream. Give me 1 minute while I try to make sure that my audio is working fine. If I can find my headphones, that would be a start. Oh, here they are.
Yeah, no audio.
Yeah, I know. I saw it. The blinking light on the microphone.
I can hear you now.
All right. I just have to make sure my audio is going through the microphone. Hold on a second. Or they won't be able to hear the videos that I post. Okay. All right. We should be good now. So. Okay. Welcome to the live show. We've been pissing a few people off in the last few live shows. This one is probably going to be no different with the title like I have. I expect plenty of hate. What I was saying before I realized my mic was not on is that I've been getting a lot of hate over a few of my videos of recent, especially the one of I don't support Trump anymore and maybe you shouldn't either. And it's funny because the hate I got on that is very generic and very poorly written. Right, so I think I kind of want to go to it. Now, first and foremost, we have this that I do want to share, like right here. And this was on Fox News. Health experts support anti-police protest. Health experts support anti-police protest. They say, as a public health advocates, we do not condemn these gatherings as risky for COVID-19. It's fine. Y'all are fine. Don't worry about it. You're not going to get the cerveza bug. Okay? This should not be confused, though, with a permissive stance on all gatherings, particularly protest against the stay-at-home orders. So, us going out there with signs saying, hey, open up, insert your state here, legally, not violent, not breaking anything, no rioting, no looting. That's dangerous. Oh, that's dangerous. Don't do it. But if you want to go looting, you want to go rioting, you want to stick it to the man, it's totally fine. Totally fine. So we're going to go a little bit into my past comments. This one right here is just a perfect one. I'm going to actually bring up the video a little bit, but I want to scroll down to the comments, right? Snoopy, you can go fuck yourself. Oh, here's what I replied. Such a well thought out rebuttal. Spelling and grammar, magnifique. You surely have benefited from the American educational system. I should have said educational, not education. I love it. When you're right, they don't have any argument. Now, if you have a rebuttal why Trump should be trusted, by all means, I am open for discussion, I'm ready to listen, and I am willing to be proven wrong. But if all you have is, you don't know what you talking, sound like you have been brainwashed, or maybe you have corona, then I'm gonna troll you a little bit because you're a moron. Maybe you don't speak English so good. Maybe you touched in head. I love it. You have no actual rebuttal. Just lame, horribly written, poor excuse for insults. You won't even bother looking up any of the factual links that I provided. You, sir, have the exact IQ the government is hoping for. I just love it. At least insult my weight. Tell me that I'm fat. I mean, this is just stupid. So, there's one thing that I wanted to share, right? Now, unfortunately, I don't think I set this chat up properly enough. I'm going to have to fiddle with it a little bit. But I am going to show a few videos, so let me go ahead and do that. If I can remember how the history thing works. The first one I want to share, if I can find it, is Fuzzy Fork. This dude is my spirit animal. Fuzzy, if you're watching, thank you very much. I asked him if I could use it. He's the only person I've ever asked if I could use a clip that they put up. because he's the only one that I've actually dealt with that I've used a clip of. And he's totally okay with it. He also provided a link to a web article that I'm going to be putting up here later too. But here's George Soros. I'm going to bring down the United States by funding black hate groups. We'll put them into mental trap and make them blame white people. The black community is the easiest to manipulate. So we're going to play that a little bit here.
Now, this is from George Soros, and this was in 2014, so listen up. I'm going to bring down the United States by funding black hate groups. We'll put them into a mental trap and make them blame white people. The black community is the easiest to manipulate. George Soros. September 2014. That's the kind of person you're dealing with. Now you got all these nitwit mayors running around. Of course, they're socialist Democrat mayors and governors, and you're going, oh, we should defund the police force. Okay, go ahead. All hell will break loose, chaos and all this stuff. You won't have the police to protect you.
Now here's one thing that a lot of people are upset about the whole defund the police. And I gotta say, I'm not so upset about it, to be honest. I mean, maybe I should be more upset about it, but I've been telling you for a long time, I'm not a fan of the police. I believe they're unconstitutional, and they're revenue generators for the state. I don't think we should have police. I think we should have sheriffs and deputies. That's what the Constitution called for. Why do we have police? Police aren't elected officials. They're controlled by whoever's in power, and they follow whatever law that you write. I saw Tucker Carlson on, and he said that the Democrats want to get rid of the police so that they can hire new police that are all Democrat, that don't like Trump, right? And that way they'll have a whole bunch of yes men to go be their personalized social justice warriors, or whatever you want to call it, right? Maybe I'll play that clip a little bit later, but that's the theory, right? I don't know about that. I don't like that, right? Obviously I don't like that. But I don't like the police force at all. It's just there to gather revenue for the state off of your hard work, because you didn't come to a fully complete stop, or you didn't signal when you changed lanes, or something fell out of your pocket when you're trying to, put your trash in your pocket and it fell out. Now you're littered. That's all that is revenue generating for the state. But I get it. I mean, we need some kind of thing. Maybe all the ex-cops, the cops that get fired, maybe they should go work for the sheriff. Maybe that's what we need.
When the looters and the rapists and the robbers come to your houses, you're up crap. You think, well, I'm on their side. They know I'm on their side because I defunded the police. No, you're just a rich white person that they plan to use and abuse and steal from because you're too damn stupid to understand the world. Here's something I see.
Oh, what's up, War Drums? I was going to call you. Forgot to call you. I'm going to call you tomorrow, if I remember.
I'll remind you.
Riddle Girl's going to remind me.
See happen to people since they're going to Here's something I see happen to people since they're going to defund all these police forces. What do you think's going to happen? Like I said, the chaos will get completely out of hand. And what will these mayors do? They're going to call in the United Nations peacekeeping force. Can you see that happening, people? And don't give me that shit. Oh, it can't happen here. Those are the famous last words I've been listening to for 40, 50 years. It'll never happen here. It'll never happen here. It'll never happen here. Wake up.
So there you go. There's Fuzzy Fork. If you don't know who he is, oh man, I got my autoplay on. Hold on. There we go. If he doesn't know who he is, there he is right there. Riddle Girl, if you want to throw his link in the chat, you can. He puts out good quality content, and a lot of it. It's short videos usually. He has, the shorter the video, the less time it takes to upload and render. So a lot of them are pretty short, but yeah, good dude. I like watching his stuff. Okay, now I'm going to bring up, let's see, this article that he put here, and we'll see if it comes up. Yeah, it does. All right, cool. And not all quite all of it. Hold on. Maybe I can adjust on the fly. Oop, nope. Okay, no, that's not going to work. All right. All right, so we have leaked memo reveals Soros plan for federally controlled police. Now, this might be the UN thing. Now, as I said, Tucker Carlson thinks that it's probably going to be instituting new police that don't like Trump or all about Black Lives Matter. Maybe most of them are black. They're going to be the Black Lives Matters movement people. Could possibly be. Who knows? Liberty not licensed blue helmets are pathetic. RPD is more dangerous. Yeah. I don't know, man. It's all crap, man. It's like, which way do you want it to come into? Quasar is his real name. My name is Gerald too, actually. Oh, okay. Hey, Gerald. How you doing? And Gerald B. What's up, Gerald B? Sorry I didn't see you there. Yeah, Gerald B is my man right there. I like Gerald B. Talking about all sorts of things going on in Maine. Thank you for the link, Riddle Girl. There's Fuzzy Fork. If you're not subscribed to him, consider it. Go watch a couple of his videos and consider it. A leaked document from George Soros' Open Society Foundations exposes the billionaire's level of involvement in attempting to build what his organization describes as a national movement to reform local police forces across the U.S. The reform largely consists of federal guidelines for local police forces. So, yeah. I'm guessing this is to do with the whole defund the police and then bring in the UN. I'm not going to read it all. It is a Breitbart thing, so I will copy the link and I will share it. So, because I know how I can share links now. There's the link for that. Alright. And let me go back to where I'm... Okay. Alright, so what are you guys' thoughts about this whole defund the police? I want to ask you that because I'm kind of back and forth with it. I don't like what they're trying to do with it, but at the same time, if we had constitutional sheriffs with deputies, we really don't need the police. Maybe we need more deputies of sheriffs, right? But that's your law enforcement right there, in my opinion. I could be wrong. Prove me wrong. I'll be more than happy to be wrong on something. I've been too right, too down. I was right today, too. Oh, we had a great discussion on the morning muster. If you missed the morning muster, you missed a humdinger. Oh, we got into Zionists, and we got into slavery, and who owned and who didn't own, and who traded and who didn't traded. Because I admitted right at the get-go, I do not know, but I believe, without any looking it up, I believe pretty much every race has been involved in either slave trade or slave ownership at one point or another in human history, right? That's my opinion. Now, I already said I don't know, right? I just think, and I could be wrong, I might have to do some research, but it's my opinion. I believe I remember hearing that somewhere long ago. We had some fool who likes to come into our chats every once in a while and light me up and say, oh, hell no. Jewish people have never owned slaves and have never participated in slavery whatsoever. We are a genteel race that's done nothing wrong to nobody. And at that time, I'm like, I don't know. I mean, it's kind of, yeah, maybe, I guess. We had another guy on there like, they were part of this, and they're part of the banking system. I'm like, oh, the banking system, yeah. The banking system, I guess, if you're in debt, that you're a slave to the bank. Maybe. I mean, you know what? Hey, I'm going to go look it up. I'm going to type in the search, Jewish slave. I think I did a third word. I don't remember what it was, right? First thing that comes up is how many Jews were participating in slave trade. They owned the slave ships. They owned the slaves. They were all about the slave trade. I mean, it's a blatant. It is really bad. But we like to say, no, they weren't Jews. They were white people. Okay. Believe me, and I don't want to get into stereotypes too much, but there is a stereotype on Jews that say they like money. And if there's money to be had, they're going to be there. Right? I would imagine that might be true in certain circumstances, right? Like maybe the whale oil. Back in the day when whale oil was a commodity, maybe the Jews partaked in that. Maybe they owned a few whale ships. I don't know. At this point, I really don't know. I'd have to go look it up. But I did go ahead and look up another commodity that was traded frequently, and they were definitely a part of that. Little girl got spicy. Yeah, I did get a little spicy. I got a lot heated because then he said that he was a Zionist, right? And I'm not for Zionist. I don't believe that the Jews should be persecuted. I do not believe that they should have had the Holocaust, right? I'm not even questioning the Holocaust. I know a lot of people that I know that would question if that even happened. I'm not. I'm saying it did happen, and I'm saying it's a horrible thing. Right? And I believe that Jews can go to heaven. Granted, I think that they need to find Jesus in order to do that. But hey, I could be wrong on that. That's up to the Lord to decide, not for me. It's not it's no sweat off my neck. Right? So, Jew, you do you. Because I don't care. Right? But when you then come out and say that you're the superior race and then that you deserve to have this land because of your reasons or feelings, or because it's biblical, it's bullshit. It's total bullshit. And a lot of Jews believe that they're the only ones going to heaven because they were born Jewish. So I guess all the church going, all the praying and all the stuff, I could be as holy of a person as possible, but if I wasn't born a Jew, I guess I'm doomed. And at that point it really devolved into he called me a Nazi. Called me a Nazi. That was hilarious. If anybody knows me at all, Nazi is not anywhere close to what I would describe myself. Because as I said, I don't think the Holocaust was good, and I do believe it happened. So, whatever. Gerald B., I think I might have smoked too much. Can't type tonight. Okay. Liberty not licensed. They are just as tasty decaffeinated brands. What are we talking? Coffee?
There's just this tasty decaffeinated brand. Maybe you had too much coffee and was like, oh, yee.
No, I didn't. Well, I did have French press for the second time because we found a vintage French press little gadget, and so we've been trying that out for the last few days. Deep Blue, blacks want to make America great again, like Africa, Haiti, Detroit. What's up, Deep Blue? I think this is the first time I remember seeing you here. Welcome. Appreciate you. We are all about freedom, no matter what color, race, creed, religion you are. Everybody gets to go to heaven if they believe and have a personal relationship with God. And you know what? If you don't think that, that's fine, because everybody has a right to their opinion as well. Liberty not licensed. Exodus 21. Oh, we're getting biblical quotes now. Exodus 21, Deuteronomy 15, Leviticus 25 all speak to lawful Jewish slave ownership practices. Yeah, that's Old Testament. I'll have to look that up, bro. Well, at the same time, I'm not going after the guy that I was yelling at today, telling him that he's a dirty, rotten slave owner, or his ancestors did this certain thing or some other thing to some other one. All I was saying at the beginning to start that whole fight was that every race color, and creed has had slaves at one point or another. Slavery's been around forever. And yeah, I know it's biblical too. You know? It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. So yeah, that's the little debate that we got into. He left, I guess, because he stopped talking. Called me not. And you know, that's the thing, right? I went and I looked up. It took me all of 5 seconds. I went and looked up, and I'm like, okay, here's what I found. Rebuttal me. You know? Nah. Went straight to name calling. Straight to name calling. I know I'll win. Same thing with the comments on my videos I read today. Straight to name calling? You have no rebuttal? Mm-hmm. I see where you're coming from now. This fool got a $300,000 condo he's trying to sell so that he can have his Boogaloo Bungalow or whatever. Like this big-ass ranch thing in the middle of Hawaii that he's going to bug out to, and he's going to have all of his real, personal friends that don't like him just because of his money. I mean, obviously, he's a cool dude. He kind of looks like Elvis. And he loves Bitcoin. That's a whole other thing. It's a whole other thing. Okay, so everybody's kneeling. That's the reason I titled this chat that way. This whole weekend was a mess. I didn't really follow the news that much, but I did catch up a little bit today. And it looks like everybody and their brother wants to kneel before black people and apologize for our whiteness. Nancy Pelosi got on her knees. Whew. I bet her husband hasn't seen that. No, never mind. So, let's go back to history. Let's see what I got here. I've got a few things. We got The Amazing Lucas with Terry Crews. Terry Crews got in trouble because Terry Crews said that both white people and black people need to combat white supremacy together, because if we don't, then we're going to end up with black supremacy. Doesn't make much sense, but he's catching a lot of flack for that. Gold and silver. Right now, the best bet on gold and silver for premiums is gold. However, I did pick up some constitutional silver just recently because my local coin shop dealer, it took me forever to find this guy, but I did eventually find a good one, sold it to me for very little over spot. I think I was just shy of $20 an ounce, but you can't find that on constitutional silver anywhere online, and it's like 1964, most of it, except for the Mercs that I bought. I bought $7 worth of, $7 face of Mercury dimes, and obviously that's going to be a little slick and a little, but I mean this guy's fair, and I'm really glad that I have him, and I'm not going to tell you about him because I want them all to myself. So I also watched Johnny B's video, and I'm really sad to say that I'm disappointed with Johnny B. I used to promote him quite a bit, but the last few videos he's been censoring himself quite a bit, saying pew-pews instead of guns, because he's trying to get monetized. And I mean, I guess I get it, but it's really annoying when you're watching a video and he never says the words because he's watching his mouth. Yeah, he preaches how we need to be, more free, more open society. Like, it's kind of hypocritical. And he's got a business selling t-shirts, shall not comply, I believe, .com, that he's making money off of. So I just find it a little bit sad. Liberty not licensed. Those citations prove your point regarding Jewish slave ownership practices from their holy Bible, the Torah. If it's in Deuteronomy, Leviticus, and Exodus, Exodus is about them being slaves in Egypt, and that they should obey their slave master, I guess. So, I don't know. The Bible's weird when it comes to should you obey your master or should you not. Right now, I'm a Seventh-day Adventist, but at the same time, I'm not, because the Seventh-day Adventist Church has closed down. And my whole life they preached to us how the government was going to come and close down the churches and how we'd have to, meet in secret and we wouldn't shut down our churches and all that. And as soon as COVID hit, yes, sir, we'll close it right down, sir. And they're still not open, and they're saying, it's a shame, but we got to be safe and all that. And so my wife actually laid into them. She's in the other room right now, but I'd share that because it was hilarious. So I'm done. I mean, I'm just done. The Seventh Day, I believe in a lot of the stuff the Seventh Day Adventists believe in, but I do not believe that they should be such cowards and kowtow down to the government at every whim. Nancy Pelosi and my fellow Dems Neo. Okay, so that's the post link. I'm gonna definitely share that after I do this. Fuzz T Fork also did this video. It's just this thumbnail. It's 19 seconds of him just showing this. The reason we have 17,000 pages in our law book is because we cannot follow 10 lines on a tablet written in stone. How about just one? How about we just have one law for the land? Shall not do to others as you would not have or want them to do unto you, right? Or do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Oh, English. That's the only law you need. If you wouldn't want it done to you, then you shouldn't do it to somebody else. And if you do, then you broke that law. Mr. Guns and Gadget, or just Guns and Gadgets. Okay, we have Minneapolis disbanding police department. They voted for it, and it passed, I guess. The Supreme Court punted the gun stuff that is up before them again. And New York doctors want to decide if you should have the Second Amendment or not. New York. And lastly, we have Tucker Carlson. Black Lives Matter is now a political party. That is a 25-minute video. If I did that, it would be my whole chat. And I already touched upon it a little bit. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click on Riddle Girl's link if I can find my mouse cursor here. Hold on. And we're going to check out this Nancy Pelosi New York Post article. House Democrats kneel for George Floyd unveil police reform bill. Yeah.
We will have a moment. We are here to honor George Floyd.
You're there to virtue signal.
In a moment, we will have a moment.
That's another thing I wanted to talk about. I've come up with a new superhero. If somebody's good at art and can draw, I mean, I'm decent. But if somebody should run with this. Superhero, virtue signal man, and maybe political correct boy as a sidekick, or political correct, gender neutral, non-binary person, right? It probably should be that because it's got to be a mouthful. But virtue signal man comes when there's a crisis, right? Somebody's getting picked on, somebody's getting beat down by the cops. Virtue signal man comes. Virtue signal man. Oh man, police got you down. Nah, dog, I got your back. You know, I'm gonna do, you know, and then not do a damn thing. Because virtue signal man wouldn't do anything. He's just gonna tell you that he agrees with you and that you matter and yeah, he's got your back. We see that all over the place. Skittles came out with an all-white Skittles. There's only one rainbow that matters during Pride. White Skittles during Pride. We got a bag. Why? Because that shit's hilarious that somehow they didn't catch that in HR, how racist that sounded. So now we have the bag. Maybe it'll be worth something someday. Right? We have virtue signaling from politicians kneeling. We had Mitt Romney virtue signaling this weekend. Like, why, dude? You're not even running for anything, but there he is. You're basically bowing down. And literally bowing down, really, because you're kneeling. You're bowing down to the left so that they don't attack you. But you don't understand, they're going to attack you anyway. Maybe they won't attack you this second, but they will continue to attack you. The more and more you let them, the more and more times you kneel or bow down, the more emboldened they become, and the more they're going to demand out of you. Right? The only way to stop that is to stand up. Oh, Deep Blue, I didn't get to read your comment. You retracted it too early. I guess for reasons. But the only way to stop that is if you stand up. You keep taking the knee. If you're being so submissive, next thing you know, I mean, Mitt Romney's going to be a Democrat. And so is anybody else that cow downs to this. Liberty not licensed. If a fellow Hebrew man or woman is sold to you, he shall serve you 6 years, and the 7th year you should set him free. That's indentured servitude, but yeah, that's kind of still the same thing. Riddle girl, I got after the church, and they came back with a lame response of if we're supposed to obey the rulers because they were put here by God. I rebutted it, and now they blocked you? Wow, how Christian of them. Oh, I'm so done with the SDA church. So, yeah, she responded to them saying, actually quoting biblical stuff. I told her that she should respond to say, well, if we are supposed to obey our rulers, what ruler are we supposed to obey? Because we're not supposed to go against the ruler, right? So are we supposed to obey the president of this country, or are we supposed to obey the King of England, or, the Queen of England, I guess, because technically they were the rulers at the time, but we Americans took it over? So if God, because they were saying God appoints the rulers, and that means that we are supposed to obey God's appointed rulers. If you know me at all, you know how I feel about that one, right? So I'm all fired up, and I'm like, that's bullcrap, because there's plenty of places in the Bible where Jesus said, go take those assholes out. Even them leaving Egypt. I mean, first they asked, God sent plagues, right? And they kept asking. Finally, the dude said okay, and they left, but they changed their mind. At what point were they supposed to say, you know what, maybe, he changed his mind. We should go back. We should follow what, he's our ruler. So I don't get that at all. I'm done with it. I'm done with it. But at the same time, I do still believe the 7th day is the Sabbath, and I believe in a lot of the stuff they teach. I just think they're a bunch of hypocrites and morons and pussies. I need a church with balls. I need to find a church who remained open during this whole damn, Cerveza shit. All right. The difference between the... Oh, dude. I don't even know. Koinina? Yeah, okay. I'm not reading that comment. I'm sorry. Deep Blue, if a black tells you to kneel, tell him I am American native. Get on your knees. You live in our land without our permission. I already like Deep Blue, bro. I already like you, bro. Exactly. Because that was my other point, right? Do we pray to... Or do we bow down to the president? Do we cow down to the Queen of England? Or do we cow down to the tribal leaders that were here first? I did mention that to her, but I didn't say that at the time. COD, Uber, Lyft, Postmates, you name it, it's all virtue signaling. Yes, I play Call of Duty. I play it on my other channel. I play it with Bobby Solar Homestead. I didn't do anything this weekend. I didn't do anything today. I did record some gameplay that we did on Sunday, and it's got Black Lives Matter all over it. You know what I'm going to do when I do eventually edit and post that shit? I'm taking that out. I'm done. I mean, all it is virtue signaling. I hate virtue signaling. It's so annoying. The whole thing with the kneeling is making me think that it's just a way to groom people to try to force us to kneel to another form of being. Oh, yeah. Liberty not licensed. The magic underwear has superpowers, brother. Does it? Underwear? I don't usually wear drawers, so that's a little personal, I know, but whatever. It's coming. The end is near. I agree. I think the end is getting close. If you believe in God, you believe in the second coming, because I know there's different religions out there. If you believe in the second coming and that Revelations points to certain events that happen at the end times, I don't know, man. To me, it's definitely getting close. And he says in the Bible, or it says in the Bible, that you're gonna not want to be part of this world anymore. That you realize it's not your home, and I kind of see myself doing that, right? Because I see all this shit going on. I'm just like, that's nonsense. It's just stupidity on top of stupidity, and I want my own country, and I'm not gonna get my own country, right? But if I could, I'd have my own country, and we'd be like the original constitutional ideal of the founders, in my opinion. Ooh. Fucking Cent. Agree 100% with what you're saying, man. All lives matter, not one race, and it's time to cut the shit. Really? Seriously? Yes. Comment. Really good comment, bro. I should give a shit about George Floyd's death as much as I should give a shit about any white person's death. And the same thing for a black person if I got brutalized, right? It is all lives matter, for sure. And it's really us versus them. I'm all for, and I've been saying this for many chats, right? I'm all for going against the cops. Especially the cops that get away with it. We've had cops get away with murder here in Arizona and Mesa on video. The guy is trying to comply with the officers. He's giving them like a list from the game Twister in order to perform before, and then he doesn't perform one move in the right amount of time and he pops him in the head. He's off. I don't know if he works for the force anymore, but he sure as hell ain't in jail. That upsets me. I don't even know what the race of that guy was. It doesn't even matter. He probably was white. I don't give a fuck. The same thing with George Floyd. Right? That's a horrible thing that happened. That officer, I'd hate to be him. Right? He already knows. Dude, save your money. Don't even worry about getting a good defense lawyer. It ain't going to happen. And if you did get off, you think the shit is bad now? Oh, man, we haven't seen nothing. Nothing. If George Floyd's killer gets off. Okay, I didn't finish your comment. People out there acting a fool and hitting cops and flipping their cars like we can't stop them bullshit. Yeah, I'm not a fan of the cops. I'm a fan of the sheriffs. I'm a fan of the constitutional sheriffs, right? Not a fan of the cops. I think they're revenue generators. They'll give you a ticket and charge you, and you didn't hurt anybody. If you didn't hurt anybody, then there's no victim. If there's no victim, there's no crime. So I didn't come to a full, complete stop at that stop sign at 3 in the morning. Out in the middle of fucking nowhere. Right? And now I gotta pay $200. Why? Is that gonna reform me? No. It's just making more revenue for the state. It's another kind of tax. It's basically a protection racket from the mob, in my opinion. Gerald B., I don't get on my knees for anyone. I only get on my knees to pray, bro. And that's why the thumbnail of this video is the way it is. Little girl, hey. Okay, she's saying hello. Liberty not licensed. Church never saved a soul. There's only one truth, way in life, and it's not a church. Not even his church. I agree, disagree a little bit there. I do believe there is a place for church. I do believe that Jesus wants you to go to church. What church is more debatable for me. Church is basically a gathering of 3 or more people. Doesn't necessarily mean that it has to be licensed by the government and be a non-profit organization and with a tax-exempt status. Right? That's the same. It's my same opinion with marriage. Right? Just because you have a piece of paper doesn't mean anything. In biblical terms, marriage is when a man knows a woman. So if you've done it with that woman and you're married to her, that's just that's biblical. Okay, they didn't get permission from governments back in the day. Usually, they just had a small ceremony, did it, and then boom, you're married. They also had many wives, and they were usually around 12 years old. So I mean, take that with a grain of salt. But I don't believe that you need a piece of paper from the government saying that you're married. It helps for taxes. Now, trying to explain that to my wife when she was demanding I either shit or get off the pot and pop the question, I popped the question because, I wanted to keep her happy. Happy wife, happy life, right? Little girl agreed. Liberty and Quasar, I don't need a church to have a relationship with God. No, you don't. And I agree. And I was touching on that, right? So what I mean in the Bible, it does say that you should go to church. Does not mean that you need to go to a professional church that is, backed by government. But the reason you go to church is not for getting close to God or, getting in contact with Him. It is for the fellowship. Like-minded individuals who believe in God, who are looking into the Bible and studying the Bible and bouncing things off of them, trying to get closer to Jesus. Right? So you're trying to have a closer relationship with Jesus. And it helps to bounce things off. And it is good for the soul. And as someone and this is a personal thing for me, as someone who is not very open with other people in real life, like I don't go out of my way to talk to people. Okay, I'm very introverted, extremely introverted, right? You have to come to me and start a conversation, because I will not start a conversation with you for a very long time. I get really lonely, right? And it's almost depressive, the amount of loneliness an introvert can get. Okay, but when I would go to church, and I haven't gone in a while for a few reasons, but when I would go to church, it would uplift my spirits. Not only did I feel like I got some knowledge in the Word of the Lord, but I also felt like I got to fellowship. I got to talking to people a little bit. I got to open up a little bit, with people, right? Reading Bible verses or whatever, and telling my opinion on them and stuff like that. And it helps with that. So I think there's a reason for it. As far as finding more negativity inside modern churches, I agree. Every single church has them. Right? Oh, the holier than thou's. The ones that think, oh, you're not wearing a tie. Oh, the personal experience, okay. You're not wearing a tie in the church, then you're not, you're not dressing up enough for God. Therefore, we got to boot you out, so you go get a tie. So you're not presentable in here without one. Well, that was the first time the SDA church ever pissed me off. And I was like, Jesus is not welcome in here. If he doesn't have a tie, then I guess what chance have I got? You know what I mean? But there's a lot of holier than thou's. There always is. There always will be. Ignore them as much as possible. That's what I do. Real girl. So many people in churches are so focused on what everyone else is doing wrong instead of fixing their own problem. Exactly. And I try real hard not to do that. Every once in a while I slip, but I mean that's life, right? But for the most person, I try real hard. Quasar is an introverted man and empathic, meaning you feel others' feelings. I'm guessing. You're using English words, bro. I do too. I killed a bird by accident because I shot in the tree and I saw a bird fall out. It was a shotgun, and I felt really, really, really bad about that. And it's not even a pretty bird. It was just like a regular, I don't even know what kind of bird. But I felt really bad about that. I felt a little bit bad about killing the rattlesnake, but at the same time, I didn't really have anything to capture it and throw it out, and I was out in the middle of nowhere, so it wasn't like I could call somebody else to do it. So I'll kill a rattlesnake and I'll deal with it, whatever. There are certain things that I kill that I'm fine with. If I went to go hunt because I needed the food, I'd be okay with that. It's not something I look forward to. It's not something I want to mount on my wall. Well, I might mount it on my wall, but it's not like I'm a trophy hunter or avid hunter just for the sport. I don't consider it a sport. I consider it going to get food. So I think me and you are a lot alike in that situation. If empath means what I think it does, which it might. Okay, so that's pretty much all I've got for you guys today. It's been 45-minute chat. It's been a good chat. Appreciate it. So get your last comments in. I'll go ahead and read them, and we can talk about what's coming up and maybe what we can do about it. Really appreciate the church talk a little bit here. I mean, if you're a believer or if you're not. I know a lot of non-believers. And it depends, we can have that discussion too. Liberty not licensed. Oh, you're going to use that big word again. Is the congregation of two or more gathered together in his name. Okay, ecclesia is the body of Christ, the called out ones, not that one should forsake the meeting together. Okay. You're using a fancy Bible. That's one of the issues I have with the Bible is it's hard to read sometimes, and I'm not necessarily good with reading. Yeah, I'm a little dyslexic, so after a while of reading, I don't even hear or I don't even retain what I'm reading. I can read decent sometimes, especially if I do it a lot. But the retention is not there. Like, you can ask me what I just read and be like, I have no idea. I just read words, made noises out of my mouth hole. Quasar, energies, good and bad, emotional, physical, etc. of others. Empaths are higher sensitive to those energies. Okay. you're a little bit more of the witchcraft kind of variety. Than I mean, obviously I'm using a term that you probably would assume is negative, which I don't mean to. Whoops. Don't mean anything by that. That's just my lack of understanding. Liberty not licensed, but that none come to the Father but by Him, but not by the... Exactly. You do not need to go to church to be saved. I absolutely 100% agree. Thief on the cross never went to church one day in his life. He's going to heaven. Plenty of people never went to church a day in their life going to heaven. All I'm saying is that Jesus would like you to go to some place, not necessarily, organized religion, but someplace, maybe a small gathering of 3 or more, right? And talk about the Word of God. Bounce ideas off of each other. Have that fellowship. That's the only thing. It has nothing to do with being saved, though. Gerald B., I do believe in God, but I will not go to any church. Oh, I mean, I can understand why. I get that. I know of all the shit that goes down. Oh, the hypocrisy, bro. I know. Oh, I know about the hypocrisy at church, and it's hard to deal with. So, if you have a small group of friends or whatever, I would encourage you to do that, but that's about it. Quasar, I pray, I believe in the Lord, but I refuse to believe. Oh, I already read that. Gerald B., but I live in God's country up here in Maine, yeah. A lot of people call their area God's country. Isn't that like one of the things with Alaska? I don't know. I want to go to Maine. I want to go to Maine real bad. I want to see it. I'm very curious. Liberty not licensed. God ain't keeping the score. He loves you as you are. Exactly. He loves you if you're black. He loves you if you're white. He loves you if you're poor. He loves you if you're rich. He loves you if you're Nancy Pelosi. He loves Nancy Pelosi. Can you imagine that? Our God is a mighty God, man, if He can love somebody like that. So, it's not up to me to judge. I do not agree with her in probably one thing. I don't even know. But I do know that God loves everybody on this planet, no matter what race, gender you want to be, anything like that. It's sad that we as a nation have gone away from that a lot, but at the same time, God's all about freedom of choice. So the only people Jesus ever failed against were the religious, holier than thous. Yeah. Well, Jesus got hung on the cross for that. That's the reason why they hunted him down and crucified him, technically, right? Because he went there and he exposed their hypocrisy and their money-making, and church is not supposed to be a money-making scheme. And as SDAs definitely don't believe in making money in church, except for tithe. And I do believe that I need to pay tithe. I haven't been doing it, and I probably should. Where I put that, I don't know. That's going to be a personal decision with me and the Lord. I'm going to have to sit down and decide that, because I definitely don't want to put it into a church. But I want it to still go towards spreading the word of the Lord. So I might have to find a small organization. Quasar, got the GQ hair going on in there. Ah, yeah. Well, I got a little pomade in it, and I got a haircut a few weeks back. I need to get some more, though. Need to get my mop chop, yeah. I do the slick back thing. I was trying to go for like an old greaser haircut. And one without a lot of work, because some of them are really cool, but man, I ain't got the time. So this is like the least amount of work version of it. Anyway, guys, that was a great chat. I really appreciate it. Gerald, well, if you come to Maine, then try to make it up here between June and October. The rest of the year's cold. Yeah, I know. I would definitely. I lived in Wisconsin for 10 years, so I know to avoid it during the winter. But I really appreciate everybody joining, everybody who's commenting. Great chat. If you liked the video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like the video, go ahead and give it a thumbs down. It won't hurt my feelings, because it just helps my my participation ratio on YouTube. If you think I'm wrong and full of shit, hey, show your ignorance by leaving a comment below. I'd be more than welcome to roast you. It brightens my day seeing some of these comments. It really does. It's just one of these things. Can they get any stupider? It's not stupider. It's not even a word. But can they get any more dumb? Yes, they can. And I'm not even that smart. And I see that. I'm like, oh my God, what are you trying to do even? Anyway. Thank you, Quasar. You take care too. You guys stay safe out there, especially with all the protests going on. Don't forget that all lives matter. Your life matters as much as mine does. My life matters as much as George Floyd's life did. It's all bad shit. The police are out of control in some instances. We can disagree on some of that stuff. But no matter what, make sure you keep your family close. Your eyes open. And keep a lookout for that government. 'Cause they're coming to get you. One way or the other. Oh, it's going to be an interesting election cycle. Biden's in the lead right now, which is surprising. But this whole shit that's going down, this is because it is 2020 and it's an election year. So, anyway, that's all I got for you. If you enjoyed the video and you're not already subscribed, consider doing so. I have been kind of regular almost with these chats, so if you want to hit the bell, you can do that. But these chats usually are at 10 o'clock my time, which was 52 minutes ago. So set your watch for that if you're interested. And with that said, I will catch you later as soon as I figure out how to turn this darn thing off. Peace.